Alright. Okay. What's up, everybody? What's good, Outlaws? So, yeah. So I just did a video, and I'm literally talking to myself. I was like, I gotta really remember this. So I be talking to myself for a good 3-4 minutes, sometimes 10, not knowing if can't nobody hear me. Regardless of that factor, is I want to talk about the Cat Cower deal with PlayStation. You know, as probably one of the bigger anime fans that I know, you know, in the crumb size community and in the community in general, I definitely wanted to.
This kind of feels like deja vu.
I was gonna make a video, but I figured, you know what I'm saying, it'd be fun to make and do this live. I don't know. I know eventually people will come to watch my live, so I might as well get to practicing that. But before that, I want everybody to know, I call this show Random Ass Video Laws because while yes, this is primarily be my gaming channel, I do want to do movie reviews or get back to doing movie reviews. I used to do those all the time. That's what this channel kind of started out as, but I'm, you know, recalibrating. I'm gonna do the gaming, and then I'm gonna have my own movie review channel, anime channel, things of that nature. But regardless of the fact, each one will have random ass video logs because when I just want to talk about whatever I want to talk about on whatever channel I want to talk about, that's what I will do. So with that being the case, I wanted to first of all, Tobias Hernandez, y'all suck. And probably was the biggest letdown.
By the will of the gods.
We either decent or we're just straight up trash. So losing to the Cowboys this week, I can't even call them Cowgirls, Cowpies. I can't call them trash, do water, nothing, because one of the sorriest teams in the NFL beat us, and by no means should they have. Jaden Daniels played the worst game I've ever seen him play.
A prayer for your wayward soul.
I mean, honestly, he hasn't really had any bad games, but it just, oh my goodness, I was so disappointed and disgusted with that game. Because that was like, I don't really care if we, you know, if we lose, the one team I just didn't want to lose to was the Cowboys. That's a team that they decide that they don't want to play good, so I blame that on Dan and Jaden. And I had to get that off. Like, don't care if people don't care or not. I'm gonna say what I want. So that, yeah, I was highly disgusted, and I mean highly disgusted with that performance. But with that being the case, you know, random ass video logs I'm gonna do and say what I want, talk about what I want, and as I get people to start to come in and, you know, pay attention to the streams and stuff, the live streams, you know, still got as the live streams and the comments come in, I'll most likely
darkness before dawn.
What they want to do, you know, there's that. But as far as the Cat Cower deal, you know, I think a lot of people are starting to understand what this deal is about, what this deal is for. You know, yes, FromSoft is a part of it. While that is an important part, it's a small part. So I need you to understand what I just said. It is it's important to PlayStation that they can get the Elden Ring and Bloodborne and Souls-like franchise their catalog, but it is not a big part. It is still a very small part of what they're trying to implement. The anime and the manga and the distribution and publication rights is really the distribution and the publication rights. Said turn up the volume, Luke. Is that better? Hello? Yeah, let me know. I'm not sure if that's. Give me a second. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. All right, so can you hear me now when I'm talking? Okay. Okay, is that better? Give it a second. Is that better? I just turned up the volume. That's why we edited the blue screen. All right. So yeah, as I was saying, you know, my team commanders let me down, and then at the Katakawa deal. So the Katakawa deal, you know, a lot of people are starting to understand it's definitely more about anime than it is anything else. So you know, I think a lot of people are, you know, still feeling some type of way even about that. Of course, you know, anybody that doesn't like PlayStation or Sony is always going to have an issue, sure, but people that just like anime are like, you know, oh, Sony's taking over the industry, and I'm like, yo, it's so funny because I realize that a lot of Americans think that like the world revolves around America, and it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Granted, it does in a sense, but it doesn't. If that makes sense. So what I mean by that, like, is while Katakawa will definitely put Sony in a position to have a big portion of distribution and publication rights for different mangas, animes that Katakawa own, as well as the ones that they license and things of that nature. In America, right? But in everywhere else, they'll kind of still be irrelevant, if that makes sense to y'all. It's just that if you understand what I'm saying. Like, basically, America, and even in America, while they have a big portion, they still won't be the top brass. So what do I mean by that? It means that like Netflix, Hulu, Warner Brothers, Disney, Paramount, all these places still have anime. There's still High Dive. So High Dive has anime. And I forgot the other only, because High Dive is anime only, and I forgot the other anime only streaming service. And when you're looking at it, right? And if you're paying attention, then you would also understand that while Sony would have distribution and publication rights at a high level, and that would be great for them, it doesn't do anything for me, against me, or for me. But as far as streaming and streaming services go, like even between Funimation and Crunchyroll, like Sony only got like I think like 28 million subscribers, which isn't, like, to be honest with you, super impressive, if that makes sense. They ain't got a bunch of subscribers comparable to Netflix, like I said, Disney Plus, even Paramount Plus, Hulu, and all that stuff, where those streaming services not only have anime, they may not be anime only, but they also have a bigger subscriber count. I think High Dive has like 12 million subscribers, so they're like halfway. Maybe about 12 to 14 million, but basically they're not that far behind Sony, you know, in the subscriber count. And the other one, I think they have like 10 million. So yeah, they're behind Sony, but Sony isn't by any way in a dominant position with anime. What they will be in a dominant position to do, and this is just true, is to license out a lot of stuff and make a lot of money that way. And I think that's what Sony wants to do anyway. The streaming service, they realize with Spotify and even with Crunchyroll, is not like the best way to go. Granted, they're in it like everybody else, because, well, that's where everybody else went with it, so they have to be a part of the zeitgeist. But the bottom line is Sony is making sure to they need to have a prominent fixture in their entertainment space. You know what I mean? Their movies are doing good.
Darkness
like
Before Dawn,
which would hurt them severely, because, to be honest with you, a lot of their other movies haven't done great. Ghostbusters is doing okay. A lot of their prominent franchises aren't like killing the game, let's be honest. And they're not as prominent as they once were in the movie scene, okay? But they're still alive, for sure. They're still they're not the big brother, but they're probably one of the, I don't even know how you would even explain it. Like, yeah, they're still a prominent studio, but they're not big. They're not a big time studio no more. You know, they're not on Warner Brothers or Disney level. Maybe Paramount, but even Paramount's bigger than them. But they're still a prominent studio, and you know, they still do well there enough that's not going nowhere. Why not do the one thing you're doing really well, which is anime? Yeah, some people complain, but I mean, you can't make everybody happy. People gonna complain regardless. So yeah, you know, the Katakawa deal is definitely more about anime than it is anything else, the manga. And then they got all these other little businesses that could be conducive to Sony or could be detrimental to Sony, and Sony will probably have to, like, you know, shed some of that dead weight and then boost up some of the things that people probably didn't know that they could utilize and would be beneficial to them. Um, so yeah, that's cool. And then for the gaming side, having Elden Ring and the Dark Souls series is great. But I mean, let's not kid ourselves. While a lot of people are loving it and growing into it and things like that, um, it's not on the level of like a Call of Duty. It's not on the level of like a Minecraft. It's within that realm. I can definitely agree that it's within that realm, but it's not on that level. You know what I mean? So, um, and Acquire doesn't, what did Acquire? I don't even remember what Acquire, the last game Acquire did. Like, wasn't it like Mario? They helped Nintendo with Mario, and then Spike Turn just did the Dragon Ball Sparking games. So they have the skills, you know what I mean? We can at least all agree on that. They have like the team, those teams can be helpful. I don't think Sony would get rid of those teams, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Like, people are like, oh, well, they wouldn't do anything with Acquire, and I honestly beg to differ, because I think that they would honestly, do the different things with Acquire specifically. And Spike Turn, like the Sony is very good about having support teams. They're very, very good about having support teams, and I think that would be extremely beneficial if Acquire and Spike Turn, I think there's one other studio, were like to assist and be assistants to FromSoft and then the other studios that are a part of it. So I think Sony's very good at that. That's why their games tend to not come out with as many bugs, and they're usually not as problematic. Yeah, they always have bugs and stuff, but what I mean is like they're not usually as problematic. What is this puzzle? Why are they all locked up? Let me see something. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little distracted. I'm trying to figure out why.
It's over.
Oh, so I only can go on that drink once. All right. So anyway, yeah, I think Sony does a good job with doing that, having like Valkyrie and these studios that don't make games. They just basically are the extra, so they don't have to go to too many outsourcing studios. They have studios that they can send out to help make these games and do the things that is necessary for them to, make whatever it is that they need happen. So I think that's pretty cool. So I think acquiring Spike Turn would be great in that facet, but like if we're being honest, outside of that, like they're not going to get a bunch of games from this. They'll get one prominent game or a prominent couple series, but it's not going to be a big deal on the gaming front like people think it will be. And that's okay. I mean, I'm an anime fan, so if they make anime better or they help anime in a way, then I'm all for it. I don't really care about what other people feel and how they feel about Sony owning them. Now, if they go into the thing where they're doing Sony things like they can do, and we all know what Sony things are, which is they get greedy and out of pocket, then then the deal isn't conducive. But at the same time, I'll just figure out other ways to, watch my anime and do my thing. So, like, that stuff don't never really bother me. Also, yeah, kind of wanted to talk about a lot of things that be going on, like, because I realize, like, a lot of people in this space, everybody game at their own pace, and how they want to game. I just happen to be blessed and lucky. It's snowing. Where did that come from? Okay, anyway, I just happen to be super blessed and lucky that I can, I'm retired and I can kind of just do what I want to do when I want to do it. Granted, doesn't mean that I can't work or that I don't work. Sometimes I might be able to get on a film set. That doesn't happen that often. And then I work at a hotel so that when I want to travel, I can. Outside of that, though, I have more time to game. And even when I was, in the military or doing things with my kids and stuff, I still found time to game. Just happened to be, I guess you could say, unlucky that I'm an insomniac, you know what I mean? So, but I found that I was watching Doc's video and he was talking about, you know, playing the game to enjoy the game, and I was a little confused. It's like, who plays games to just beat a game to say they beat it? I thought most people play games to play the game, right? I just feel like as you've gotten older, though, you don't do the same thing. You know what I mean? You can't just sit and play the same game forever, although some people do. That's why Call of Duty is so popular. That's why FIFA is so popular, and so forth and so on. He's like, oh, these kids are playing Minecraft and Roblox, and I'm like, and adults are playing Call of Duty, Minecraft, Siege, and all these forever games because they are getting their total enjoyment out of those games. But single player games and smaller multiplayer games, you know, you get the enjoyment and you move on. Especially with single player games, like, yeah, I played Final Fantasy VII, the original game, like literally maybe like over 50 times legitimately. I've beaten that game over and over and over and over again. I even got the trophies recently because I didn't play it on my newer system. I played newer systems, so I finally did that. And it doesn't, like, and I get my enjoyment. So I don't know, I was just a little off put by the messaging, and I was just like, it's, you know, that, I don't know. Maybe there's something I don't know about. Because, like I said, I'll be playing my game. You know, most of my games I have somewhere between like 100+ hours in almost every game I play because I get the full enjoyment out of it. Like, I make sure to like do all the side missions and try different armor and different things and play different ways. So I don't know. I just found that, you know, statement y'all like weird, to be honest with you, on mothers. I was like, wait, what? Like, I thought everybody's playing the games they play because, you know, they enjoying those games, but maybe not. Maybe I don't know. I don't know what, you know, what's going on in the grapevine. So yeah, but yeah, man, the Katakawa deal, I'm looking forward to see what Sony does with it. I do need people to understand, especially PlayStation fans too. Like, y'all may not get the games y'all think y'all getting because you also have to know what division that this branch is going under. You know,
Darkness Before Dawn
podcast, right? And I want people to understand and go like, subscribe, do all the good things, comment and stuff to 60 frames, no lag. But when I was on that drink, I'm like telling I'm like, it depends on what division it goes under. Because if this all goes under Sony Music, you're not getting this exclusive. It's not going to be like an Elden Ring exclusive if it's under there. And the way Sony Music runs their division, they don't really mess with PlayStation or Sony. They don't really mess with no other division. The insurance don't mess with nobody. The banks don't mess with nobody. The lenses and stuff, like, they don't work in unison, which is such a weird thing to say about a corporation that should be working in unison. But they truly don't. They don't work together. They don't work on the same team, and it's thoroughly weird. I'm like, to me, like, I'm just like, I don't know how they be beefing. They sue each other and all kinds of stuff. So they're not very united. So if it goes to Sony Music or under Sony Pictures, who also have their own gaming divisions, then like all that exclusive things, you know, for those that look forward to that, you're not going to get that. You know what I mean? You're probably going to get more of the same from software. You know what I mean? So just take heed of that. You know, I know there's some people that know that, but there's a lot of people that don't. You know, bro, where you come from? How can I? Okay, no, that ain't working. So yeah, like I said, just take heed about that because you never know how Sony's gonna move. I would hope that they would put FromSoft under PlayStation Studios. And like, the fourth studio was a cell phone studio, and you put the cell phone studio under Sony Music because Sony Music does the absolute best job with cell phone games. Yeah. I don't even understand why they made a PlayStation cell phone division that has yet to produce
Darkness
anything.
Before Dawn.
For those that don't know, which is hilarious. They made a PlayStation division cell phone division hasn't produced anything, and you would think, like I said, if they work together, they could go to Sony Music and be like, how do you have Sword Art Online, one of the most successful cell phone games in the history of Sony? Like, how did y'all come up with that? How do y'all come up with the cell phone games that are successful? Sony Music got a lot of successful cell phone games, so you would think they would just work together. But like I said, Goofy, they be doing some goofy stuff. Like, Sony be on some super goofy stuff that doesn't make any apparent sense. At least to me. Like, I couldn't be the head of Sony and these people not work together. I'd have got rid of every CEO in all those divisions and brought in CEOs that's gonna get along and make it happen. Like, y'all gonna talk to each other, y'all gonna work with each other, y'all gonna share. You know what I mean? You know, I know you want to do your own thing, you want to build your own thing, but you know, you could build your own thing and still share, you know, what makes y'all successful, and y'all can take, you know, information from each other. But these goofies, they definitely don't see the value in that. And that could be one of the reasons Sony has a downfall, to be honest with you. Herman Hulst, as I said before, I'm not happy about Herman Hulst being the head of PlayStation Gaming. I don't think Herman Hulst has a great eye for great games. I think he has an okay eye. So what I mean is, I think there'll be some games that, like, you know, it'll be hits, but I think he'll miss more than he has a hit. You know, I think he'll have way more misses, as we can see with Concord, Lego Horizon, him pushing his baby to the forefront with all these stupid variations of Horizon. When Horizon's an amazing game, that is my favorite PlayStation exclusive franchise, and I still think that the decisions they're making with all these offshoots and stuff are stupid. Now, granted, I hope that the multiplayer game hits, but if it doesn't, oh well, you know what I mean, that's on Sony. And hopefully they'll learn his lessons. But I think Herman Hulst has a great eye for technologies. And I think working with the other guy who is doing, you know, the new systems and things of that nature, I think technology-wise and hardware-wise, Sony will be at the forefront and stay at the forefront with that, definitely over anybody. But I also understand that none of that stuff matters without gaming. You know what I mean? Without the games and the things, the software to back up any of the stuff they're trying to do. So yeah, I think they need a third person. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but like, yeah, I'm all for the, like, let's do 3 CEOs. You know, one that actually, you know, bring back Shuhei and let him be the head of gaming, let Herman be like the head of like engines and technology and moving the company forward in that way, and let the other dude be the head of hardware, you know. Or just find somebody that can do all, I don't know. But yeah, I know without knowing that Herman is just not the guy for the gaming part. You know what I mean? They maybe need to just get a president, and Herman just, you know, signs off on the money or whatever. Maybe he's good at that part, but he definitely doesn't need to be the head of gaming. You know, Killzone was a good game. It really was. I know a lot of people probably beg to differ. That's fine. But Killzone was a good game, but it wasn't an amazing game. You know what I'm saying? Horizon is an amazing game, but he also, like, I don't know, he's kind of pompous. He's just not my guy. You know what I mean? I feel like PlayStation is going to be at a middling point gaming-wise with him at the helm, with the choices they make outside of the major studios, because he doesn't bother
a prayer for your
Naughty
wayward
Dog. He doesn't
soul.
bother Santa Monica, so they'll be fine. You know, most of the studios will be fine in the first party you know, by him letting them do what they already do, which is, you know, be successful on their own. But you got to turn around and look at these third-party deals and stuff, and these spin-offs and stuff, and I just think that's where he's in control, and that's where they're gonna take these L's at. So yeah. I don't know. We're gonna see. Maybe I'm wrong. You know, somebody, what was it? William Aguilar. He was telling me like, yo, you gonna find out that Herman is actually not as bad as Sony's gonna be okay. And I'm hoping that he's right, to be honest with you. But I'm pretty sure I'm right. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even like got no insiders or nothing. Like Jez from the ground, you know what I'm saying? I just use my 2 eyes and pay attention to what's going on. You can clearly tell that Herman does not have an eye
Darkness
for
before
like
dawn.
great games. You know what I'm saying? He has an eye for good games, okay games, you know what I'm saying? But he ain't got an eye for great games, or like what Sony's used to. I'm just glad he's just letting, you know what I'm saying, the studios do what they do. because I'll be a little worried if he was interjecting himself into the other studios, but he's not. It's the same thing he did with, that's the one thing I give him credit for. It's the same thing he did with Death Stranding and Kojima. You know what I'm saying? He just let him do his own thing, and he got a solid game from it. Again, not a great game, but a solid game from it. So, I mean, some people probably think Death Stranding is a great game or whatever, and you know, there's people that's gonna sing Kojima's praises. But for me, I'm just like, yeah, that journey, I don't care for it. You know what I'm saying? I bought it for my child, and he ain't even played it and beat it. You know what I'm saying? He's talking about he's gonna listen to music and have it as a vibe out game, and yeah, that ain't flying. So, he never get to it. So, yeah, man. Excuse me, but yeah, I'm looking to see what Herman Host come up with, because I could be completely wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm not, but I could be completely wrong. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of that matter, Sony still keeps getting more studios like FromSoft. Because like for me, the Microsoft saying they're going to acquire more, you know what I'm saying? I just want Sony to get studios of games that I would play. You know what I'm saying? So CD Projekt Red would be a studio that I would be psyched if Sony bought. The Baldur's Gate studio, Larian, I think it's Larian Studios. I'd be psyched if Sony bought, because love Baldur's Gate, love Cyberpunk. I'm not a Witcher fan though, but I just know what they can do. I know Witcher is a really good game. I own it. It just wasn't for me, right? Larian makes the Baldur's Gates. I like American RPGs like that, turn-based RPGs like that, Divinity Original Sin, all that stuff. So you can see on my trophy list, beat the original Divinity Original Sin. Didn't even start on 2, but I have 2. Will play it. But those games are like games that I get mad lost in. So things like Disgaea, Divinity Original Sin 2, those type of games I play when I know that I don't want to play anything else and there's nothing coming out for a good extensive amount of time. And the only reason I haven't started any of those games, even though there hasn't been a bunch of things that I'm interested in getting into, is because I just want to kind of, what the heck? I want to start to, I was been dwindling down my backlog.
I see your future, and it is not bright.
I didn't expect this thing to pop up. I don't know if it's a side mission I wasn't paying attention to or something. That's a throw off. Anyway, so yeah, I would love for them to pick up Larian, CD Projekt Red. What else? Who was another studio that I would like? The people that make Helldivers. I really don't understand why they haven't picked up the Ballistic Moon or something. Whatever their studio is, I don't know why they haven't picked them up. It frustrates me because I think they worked together for 8 years really well. They should have picked them up. I also would have liked to see them, just small studios like that, like one-off studios. That's what I definitely would love to see, well, they're not one-offs, but they like Destiny-sized studios where you can get, they can produce their own games. They got
Darkness Before Dawn.
Studios, so they can make 1 or 2 games. You know what I'm saying? Those type of things are what I would love to see from them. Whether they did it or not is different, but I would like to see that. Because at first I was just like, I would like Sony to buy Take-Two, just because I knew Microsoft, when they said they weren't done, I knew they weren't done, you know what I mean? And they're still saying they're not done, so I think they're looking to be the biggest third-party publisher, period. So if that's the case, you know what I'm saying? For me, I'm like, I'm ready for them to, for Sony to, I don't need Sony to try to buy with Microsoft, because they can't. It's impossible, right? Well, it's not impossible, but it could put Sony out of business. It could put their backs against the wall at a high clip. It's just not conducive, is the word that I was looking for, right? It's not a conducive thing. So with that being the case, what is saying? Pop out. Yeah, I'm about to say. But yeah, it's not conducive for Sony to not conducive for Sony to be trying to buy Microsoft, but they can buy these studios. They can definitely afford CD Projekt Red. They could definitely afford Larian. They definitely could afford, I think it's Ballistic Moon. And that would just bolster their studios very well, because I just like the games Sony makes. You know what I'm saying? I like how they manage their studios. I think they do a good job. They ain't perfect by no means, nah. You know what I'm saying? They be doing tomfoolery and nonsense as well, but I understand that. You know what I mean? But they're using their games come out. They're, you know, I wouldn't say, you know, they're not, for me, they're, you know, some of the best games. So yeah, man, I just want did he heal? Cause I remember doing more damage. Maybe I didn't do more. So yeah, that's what I just want to, you know, that. But like I said, I did want them to buy Take Two. You know what I mean? Because I was like, that would help. That would put them in a position that they really want to be in, and it would allow them to do what they want to do. So like they wouldn't have to keep trying this live service BS because you got Grand Theft Auto. You wouldn't have, you got 2K, NBA 2K, and you got WWE 2K. So you got all the live service that I don't want to say that you need, but you got the forever game that you really wanted, right? You got two of them, two major ones, and one middle class one. WWE 2K does really well with its microtransactions and DLCs, but it's not huge. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it sells really well, but I'm talking about the microtransactions, and the forever game isn't as big because it comes out every year like 2K would be, like with the VC. Then you have Civilization to go against Age of Empire. I was just thinking, you know, like if I was at the head of the company, these are some of the things I'd be thinking about. Then you got Borderlands and different games like that, so you still can get your single player stuff out, but you also got your forever games that you've been like crying for, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what I was thinking at first. And Sony can definitely buy Take Two, you know what I'm saying? But they wouldn't be able to do anything as far as PlayStation goes for quite some time after that. And that's like the truth. Like they wouldn't be able to make a ton of moves. And it would definitely put their backs against the wall as far as like making moves or like acquire anything or do anything different. They would have to move within the realm of the space they put themselves in. But then I was like, well, if you don't get Take Two, that's cool. But, you know, getting Ballistic Moon, who is showing that they can make, you know, a good multiplayer game, co-op or whatever, you can find ways to monetize that a little better without being disgusting, because we all know that Sony likes to get disgusting. So, and yeah, that's just where I was at with it. But now I'm just like, I just would prefer them to get these smaller studios that they work really well with, that, you know, make amazing games. Like, if you're not going to be able to, shall I say,
Darkness Before Dawn.
You know, if you're not willing to get the big publishers, you know what I'm saying, then at least get games that keeps your name at the top of the brass of being one of the best, you know, to do it. Cyberpunk and Witcher type games keep you there. Some Helldivers and maybe expanded Ballistic Moon keeps you there, and then Larian Studio puts you in a place where you finally have an American RPG that people want to play. You know what I'm saying? So just think about stuff like that. What am I doing? So yeah, I know that's what my mind was. Of course, that would work.
Take this!
By the will of the gods.
She gets that burn. There's extra 7 points. focus on me. Yeah, hopefully don't go underground and do that.
There. Yeah.
So yeah, that's the things I wanted to talk about. I wanted to kind of thing. Also, I watched this show, right? So on Netflix, there's a show called Pantheon, right? So it's like the Pantheon of gods and stuff like that. And it is wild, you know what I'm saying? Everybody talking about AI and AI. Oh my God, this motherfucker. Everybody talking about, you know, like, everybody talking about, you know, AI or whatnot, right? And what's so dope is like Pantheon, it talks about UI, which is uploaded intelligence, where like they take you as a person and they somehow effectively laser print your brain into a computer to where you will I won't say die or anything, but you will well, yeah, you'll be dead in the living, but you'll basically get to live forever as like a computer program, right? So I was sitting there watching it, and I was dumbfounded because I know about it, right? I'm not gonna talk about why, but and how the things they're doing in real life with it, but I forgot how terrifying it can be, like, because it for sure is terrifying, like. If you know what I'm saying, understand anything about it, it was showing like people having the power to move around computer systems and breaking out of their cages, as far as the cages that they wanted them to be in, you know, to be productive as a computer person or whatever. And I was just sitting there crying, laughing. I'm like, yo, this is a wild scenario. You know, one of the people that was uploaded without his permission was able to launch nukes. You know what I'm saying? You had other countries having people sneak around and causing all kinds of background status while nobody's knowing. So all the sneakiness of like the Cold War and stuff, or what they call the Cold War, is just like amplified, like so amplified. And I was like, man, this stuff is wild. So yeah. As far as that stuff goes, I was just like, man, it was a really good show. Granted, I did not like the little girl. Like, I couldn't stand her. The mom was cool. And all the other characters were cool, but the little girl, like, had this, I don't know, I just think there's characters that always have this, like, I'll risk the world
Darkness
for the
before
person
dawn.
that I love, you know what I'm saying? Mentality is annoying. Granted, I shouldn't judge because, you know, that's probably how I feel about my kids, where it's like, if I was put in a situation, like, do I choose the world or do I choose my children, or, you know, people that I love, I probably end up, you know, having that same feeling. But while I love my family, I would hope that that I'm reasonable enough to, you know, be fair, you know what I mean, and not be like, okay, risk the world, let me see if I can save them both, or, you know, not be super selfish, because it's like, well, if you destroy the world, then you don't have your child, you know, anyway. So did you really help anything? You know, you got a few extra seconds. But, you know, it is what it is, right or wrong. I just didn't like her character. She just represented. But I am looking forward to out there. It's like it kind of had a actual ending, so I don't know if there'll be a season 2. It was left a little bit open where they could, if they wanted to, have a season 2. But like I said, it definitely was also written in a way that if it ended, you wouldn't be upset with it. You would be like, oh, okay, cool. So, you know, there's that. But Peyton. Excuse me, but Pantheon was a good show. Netflix has just been a really good job with their shows, especially if it's, you know, they still got the Korean dramas going or whatnot. I think that's pretty cool in itself as well. I wonder why I can't go into that spot. But yeah, I've been watching a plethora of good shows. A lot of them have been animation at this current juncture. I will say this too, and Dragon Ball Dogma is, like, I'm a bigger Dragon Ball fan than I am Dragon Ball Z. I mean, at one point in time, I was a really big Dragon Ball Z fan. That's like probably in my like teens, was like 12, probably like 14, 15, or something like that. And then of course other animes come along, so you know there's that. But Dragon Ball Dogma definitely gives me a little bit of the Dragon Ball feel, where it has a little bit more comedy. I know the fighting is definitely more in tune with what I like, where it's not just all being overly powerful, you know, destructive, I destroy the planet stuff. Because while when I was like a teenager as a guy, I'm like, oh, that's super cool. But then as I got older, and when I was younger, I didn't care. But as I got older, I'm like, it doesn't make for compelling stories. Like, kind of get to a point where, like, how much further can you go, right? And that's crazy to say because I love this show called Swallow Star. And no, I'm not pausing because I'm not saying anything in that facet. I'm literally just talking about what the name of it is. Why that's the name of it, I don't know. Ask the Chinese company that made it or animators that make it. But I watched Swallow Star on YouTube. And that show is like all about like the power scaling is absolutely ridiculous, right? But for some reason it still works because the story is really compelling. And I'm not saying that Dragon Ball can't, but Dragon Ball's story isn't as like Dragon Ball Z, at least story was compelling, and again it didn't start getting to a point where it's kind of like not as compelling. For me, and I know the people that love Dragon Ball are gonna lose their mind, but Dragon Ball Dogma is okay. It's definitely not as interesting as I thought it was going to be. As far as story is going, it's like taking really long. We like on episode 6, and it's like still like dragging its feet to me on like what it's supposed to be or what is going on. So let me figure out. But
your soul ablaze.
Yeah. So, yep. I don't know. Netflix has been doing a fantastic job. I think I watched the thing. I also saw. I got distracted, so I don't even remember what I'm talking about. But I just saw on Instagram, and I went like. I hate when Instagram like refreshes for me. I don't even know if I can turn that off, but I really need to turn that off. But regardless of the matter is, it was like this Korean drama, and I wish I knew what it was. I wish if somebody could, tell me what it was. But it was like this dude is trying to talk to this girl, and it's freaking hilarious because she keeps carrying him, like she carrying him to the like umpteenth degree, and for some reason he just keeps trying, and it's freaking hilarious. Like he's super polite and not doing anything weird. And he's just like, yo, like, what is your name? And she tells him this random name, and then her boss, because she's at her job, her boss like calls her actual name, so he's just standing in front of her, and she's just like, you know, basically caught up in it, but she don't change her facial expressions at all, so she's just like, it is what it is, like, I don't even care. And so she just like literally just stands there looking dumb, and then like it cuts to him. I don't know if this show goes like this, but in the clip it cuts to him being on the bus crying. And it just seems like every day he's trying to get to know her, you know what I'm saying? And she just is not dealing with it. So like they're walking in the rain, he's holding an umbrella over her head to keep her from getting wet. And he's talking to her, and then she acts like she was listening, like she had to take a call or something. So she turns on her phone and she starts talking, and then her phone actually rings. So like he getting on the bus crying, like, bro, I was like, I want to watch this show, because that drink to me seems absolutely hilarious. Like, absolutely hilarious. That's not what I wanted to do. You know, especially if he does end up on the bus right behind it crying, like, that would be something I would really want to watch, like a comedy. I'm not really into, like, the love shows, but, like, if it got that huge comedy element to it, then I'm definitely down for it. Because I'm also watching some show called AP Biology on Netflix. And AP Biology is a very, like, unique show for me, because I like all kinds of different things, right? But AP Biology is so weird because I don't find it like to me it's not like a great show, but it's not a bad show. It's just like, but it's a very entertaining show. It's like all I can really say about it, right? Like, a teacher that basically went to Harvard, graduated from Harvard, became like a renowned professor of philosophy. And so he thinks he's above people. He thinks he's above everybody. And he got in a fight. He got kicked out of Harvard for teaching professor for a little while, suspended or whatever. So he goes to teach back at his hometown in Toledo. And he thinks he's like way too good to be in Toledo now. So I'm sitting there watching it, and like he won't teach the kids, or like he's supposed to teach AP for biology, and he won't teach the kids anything. He literally goes into class and tells them like he wants to get a revenge on this coworker of his that has done nothing to him, but because the coworker is just, you know, blessed and gifted to receive good things, because he so far is just the actual genuinely really good person, he wants to ruin his life just basically because he's the biggest hater. He wants him, you know, to end up dead, or like, you know, to put him in jail. Like he's wow. And he basically tells the kids every day an update on this dude that he just doesn't like because he's better than him in the aspects of currently, right? And he forces the kids to try to figure out, that's, you know, what he teaches them, forcing them to try to figure out how to ruin this man's life instead of teaching them the AP biology that they want to learn. And they're super nerds, so they really want to learn really bad. So they're trying to figure out how to get him fired so they can get an actual teacher that would teach them, you know, things they want to know. So I am crying laughing. The show is like, there's so many funny parts, but then story-wise, it's not like the most captivating story. It's not like I'm like, oh my goodness, I am in love with the story or anything like that. But I am, but the jokes though, the jokes are like by far amusing. Like they're super, super amusing to me. So, super wild show. Definitely wasn't looking forward to anything like that.
Come to our aid.
You know, I think I'm on like, I think it's like maybe 10 episodes, 8 episodes. I think I'm on like episode 5 or something, but super funny. So if y'all, you know, want something that you can just kick back and relax and like watch and not really have to think too hard, that is a good show to watch. Is there anything else that I'm there to talk about? Not really. Yeah, just kind of wanted to come on here and chat it up for a little while. How long? Yeah, it's been about an hour. King Wolf, anything? You got anything? You know what I'm saying? I don't know who the other two people. Anybody got anything they would like to hear my opinion on, or that they got some opinions on that I can talk about their opinion? If not, I'm about to go ahead and call this dice. I usually pick other games to play, but I like this particular game. The other games I can't concentrate. I realize I cannot play like Madden and try to like, I don't know how these other people be doing it, because I like to focus and like pay attention to my
I will commend your soul to the gods.
Turn-based games I can play like the back of my hand and I have to like actually, and I can still concentrate. Like sometimes I might do this. Most of the stuff I can play. My homegirl had sent me this video like of what is it? What is the joke? It's like this guy, the people that play the games that like do everything, all the side missions and do everything ahead of time, so that by the time they get to it in the regular story, they already did everything. They pretty much walk through the regular story because they're gods to the game. That's pretty much, as you can see, I'm not struggling at all. Like, I'll show you what I mean. Like, if you see, I'm level 23, right? Most of my characters are level 23. I'm still in kind of the beginning of this game, but if you look, sorry, I left church, but hold on, just hurry up and find me a little monster before I get up off this drink. Most of the monsters ain't like a level 17, 18 in the area I'm at. Is the bottom line. I walked into an area that was like level 20 recently, but in red? What's in red, King Wolf? Nerd. Your mother. And you could tell her I said it. Oh no. Nerd. Alright, Piccolo, relax. But yeah, even King Wolf know, like, he's probably been riding with me to, you know, as long as I've been doing this. But like, as you can see, look, level 16. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so far ahead of the game, and yet you hear all the time, and I absolutely appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't gotta be a YouTuber, but I still love the support. You know what I'm saying? King Wolf, I still appreciate it. So, you know, you just remind me of the people, the Xbox haters that hate on the videos that I make. You know what I mean? I appreciate them too, like legitimately. So I ain't mad at you. But yeah, like I done like the weapons that I have like are so like ahead of the game, like, and I know just because how powerful I'm hitting everything, I'm killing everything in 1 or 2 hits, you know. So I just play games like that. So my homegirl sent me that video. I couldn't stop laughing because it was like the game, what was it, the little you know, the computer was like, yo, so, you know, I need you to go get this item, and it was like, I already got it. It was like, yeah, and I need you to be this level. It's like, yeah, I'm like 20 levels ahead of that already. Like, I need you to do this and that, and I just bust out laughing because, like, I would sit and do this all day long.
Don't worry,
like,
I got
can
this.
literally do this for hours on time because I enjoy turn-based combat, which a lot of people don't. But I, like, even on, like I said, on 60 Frames of Lag, he was saying, don't nobody enjoy this. And I'm like, I do. Like, it's so hilarious that he's saying that, but I'm like, he must be talking about other people because I absolutely enjoy doing this over and over and over again. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. Like, I'll be wanting to get to the point where, like, in some RPGs, the monsters won't even fight you because they're scared of you. And I love having that, like, godlike ability and knowing that I, like, bust my tail to get to that point. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm one of the few people that like it, and like, you know, King Wolf said, you know, nerd, or however people want to put it, it's hilarious to me. But and King Wolf has known me for a long time, so he would know, you know, he play these games for hours on end in real life. So, you know, I like sit for like 5 days straight just training these type of games. Because when I play RPGs, I want to be able to walk through the story. I don't really want to have to like actually combat. I'd rather do all the combat through the side missions and just constantly, you know, leveling up and training then happens that when I get to a story point, I'm off the two songs, or I got, I don't have the proper weapon or whatever it is. Like, I want to just be able to go straight into the story and like enjoy the story. So, granted, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been playing this game and so far the story's kind of mid. I'm not really interested, but I really am enjoying the turn-based gameplay and how like you level up and build your characters out. So, like, I want to be, because of that, the story is like really that captivating to me. So, I'm kind of moving, like I'm definitely playing it the same way I normally play it, where like I'm stronger than everything, but I'm not like severely, like I could be level 40 by now. It wouldn't be how I would be getting to this area. So, but yep, appreciate the people that's in here. King Wolf, thank you. The other two that's watching, absolutely appreciate it. I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Y'all enjoy y'all day. Stay blessed, stay safe, all that. Have an amazing day. I'm out.